The shocking truth behind Smokey Yunick's 1968 Hemi-Head Camaro 1969 Riverside International Raceway. Lloyd Ruby's Camaro had just smashed the qualifying record. Its secret? An engine so extreme, NASCAR inspectors tore it down on the spot. This wasn't just another Camaro. This was GM's forbidden weapon, Smokey Yunick's Hemi-Head 302, born in a Florida garage, killed in Detroit boardrooms. Tonight, the untold story of the engine that could have rewritten racing history and why GM silenced it. The Trans Am wars were raging. When Ford launched the Mustang in 1964, it ignited the pony car craze, affordable, stylish performance machines for young buyers. Chevy answered in 1967 with the Camaro, built on the new F-body platform alongside the Pontiac Firebird. Its name was pure marketing fiction, claimed to mean a small, vicious animal that eats Mustangs. But in practice, the Camaro's bite was deadly serious. Chevrolet's strategy was two-pronged: sell cars and win on track. The arena was the SCCA Trans-American Sedan Championship. To compete in the over 2-litre class, automakers had to sell at least 1,000 street versions of their race cars. Engineer Vince Piggin saw the loophole and the opportunity. His idea: build a stripped-down Camaro with the bare essentials for racing. The result was the Z28. Introduced in late 1966, the Z28 wasn't about luxury, it was about winning. Built around a 302 cubic inch V8 created by combining a 327 block with a 283 crank, it fit perfectly under Trans Am's 5.0 litre limit. Rated at 290 horsepower on paper, it was notoriously underrated. In reality, dyno tests put it at 350,410 horsepower, with race-prepped versions pushing beyond. The package included a close ratio for speed, positive traction rear end, stiff suspension, and disc brakes. Air conditioning wasn't even an option. It was a street-legal race car. Chevrolet's Trans Am debut came in 1967. Roger Penske's team, with Mark Donohue behind the wheel, turned the Z28 into a weapon. Ford's Shelby-built Mustangs had dominated early, but Chevy was closing in. Still, Donohue knew they were outgunned in one area: top-end breathing. The Boss 302 could rev freer. Chevy needed something radical. Enter Henry "Smokey" Yunick. A World War II bomber pilot turned mechanical outlaw, Yunick was famous for bending rules until they screamed. His Daytona Beach shop, the best damn garage in town, was legendary. He had already won the Indy 500 and nearly 60 NASCAR Cup races, twice named Mechanic of the Year. Smokey's motto: if it isn't in the rulebook, it isn't illegal. By 1967, Smokey was already building wild Camaros. Acid-dipped bodies, lowered chassis, aerodynamic tweaks, engines tuned far beyond stock. His cars weren't Camaros as Chevy sold them. They were weapons. On the Bonneville Salt Flats, his small block Camaros ran over 170 miles per hour. His big block versions approached 190. GM, officially out of racing since 1963, funneled him quiet support. Smokey was their outlaw in plain sight, but to beat Ford, he needed something even crazier. The solution: a set of radical aluminum cylinder heads, canted valve designs nicknamed Porcupine Heads. Developed by Dave Martins, Charlie Turner, an ex-Chrysler Hemi man, and Yunick himself, they transformed the 302 into something unrecognizable. With semi-Hemi combustion chambers, massive valves, and spark plugs relocated near the chamber center, airflow skyrocketed. These heads belonged on a big block, not a high-revving small block.
The rest of the package was equally exotic. A clean-sheet aluminum cross-ram intake with dual Holley 4,295 carburetors flowing nearly 1,200 CFM. Custom high-compression pistons at 12.5 to 1. Magnesium valve covers. Even a special aluminum water pump. All carried GMO prefix experimental part numbers never meant for showrooms, only for insiders. On paper, it was outrageous. One hot rod report whispered 501 horsepower from 300 to cubic inches. Experts say 430 to 450 was more realistic, but that was still 100 more than the Ironhead Z28. This was no street motor. It demanded race fuel, screamed at 8,000 RPM, and had almost no torque down low. Lloyd Ruby. Its test driver came back pale after his first run. "Smokey, this thing pulls like a jet fighter, but it feels like it's about to blow sky high." At Riverside in 1969, the Hemi-Head Camaro was unleashed. Ruby set a qualifying record that stunned the paddock, but NASCAR inspectors immediately tore the car apart, disqualified not for the engine, but for Smokey's usual tricks: acid-dip panels, lowered subframe. The motor's potential was very real, and that terrified Ford, competitors, and even GM itself. Behind closed doors, Chevrolet executives asked, "Why risk it?" The standard Ironhead 300 with Penske and Donahue was already a proven winner. In 1968, it carried them to the Trans Am Championship. In 1969, it was on track to repeat. The exotic Hemi 300 was expensive, fragile, and unnecessary. Worse, it threatened to expose GM's secret support of racing, despite their corporate ban. So GM killed it, quietly. No mass production, no homologation, no comeback. Smokey's 500 horsepower monster became a ghost, remembered only in whispers and magazine clippings. The legacy of the Hemi-Head 302 isn't what it did, but what it could have done. It was the engine that scared GM more than Ford. A glimpse of a Camaro that might have dominated Trans Am so completely it changed the sport. Instead, it was buried another Smokey Yunick creation to wild for the world.